All right. Well, apparently we're okay on the web now because it's doing this weird like music thing. I thought it was my laptop doing something odd. I'm actually going to turn my phone off right now because I think they actually fixed the internet, which is nice because it's easier. All right, so I'm powering off the phone. The phone is off. Can you guys hear me okay? Everybody good over there? We're starting again. All right. So let's get you guys in here. This is so nice. We're actually what a nice Christmas gift. We're actually getting on I'm on the web. I can see if I get messages and the whole thing. Oh, nice. All right. Cuz the phone is too small. I can't see that. I've got to like turn the phone over. It drives me insane. So this is actually nice. I had no idea they fixed this. So I am wishing everyone such a good Christmas. I am having a very magical type of Christmas myself because I'm finally happy for the first time in a really, really long time. In fact, I don't remember being this happy. Just going to say that. All right, so I need to know if anybody wants to get on here as a speaker. If you do, then send me a request and I will get you on. I think you still have to send a request. So send a request, let me know. If it doesn't work on your laptop device, get on your phone and get back in here because I'm not entirely certain 100% certain that the web will actually work for anybody but the host. So this is brand new territory. They have this weird song. I don't know if you guys host these things, these spaces, but now there's this weird like electronic music that and I thought my phone was like giving off some sort of alien signal and I was actually being intercepted by some sort of alien craft. I mean, I had no idea that they had fixed this and that that music is actually going to happen. So, anyway, this is Carla Barron. Thanks for joining me back here again. If you had a link before, that link doesn't work because this is it shocked me for a second with the music. But send me a request to speak and ask your question. But the first thing that I want to talk about, I was trying to tune into the universe to see what it is I need to say to you guys. And I was sent a message that's pretty much saying, instead of racing so hard and going so fast and being so stressed out over every little thing because everybody's watching and let's get as much as we can before the world falls apart. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to say, look at what you've accomplished. Look at what you've gathered thus far, especially this year. And look at how you've turned things around. A lot of my clients, a lot of the people that I read privately, they're so concerned with how they measure up to somebody else, and if they have as much as somebody else, or if they're in the same type of relationship as somebody else, or everybody's grading themselves and criticizing themselves so much that you haven't looked at what you actually did do leading up to this year. I'd say between the beginning of 2024 to now. Look at what you've gathered in your little baskets, okay? This is my message that I'm receiving, is that stop referring to somebody else's guidelines or somebody else's you know, somebody else's tally of what you should be or what you should have at this point in your life or at this point in 2025 just going into 2026. Stop doing that, because not only do you throw an obstacle in your path, but you negate all the good stuff that you've accomplished and all the traction that you've gained doing what you've done. So it's not just about, career accomplishments. It's about, looking at your relationships with people, your family, how you dealt with and navigated, loss and perhaps people dying and leaving, and how you've managed to still stay the same person, but now you're edging into a better part of yourself, a better version of yourself. It's not just about happiness that we're all clamoring for. It's not just about how much money or we're going to leave this earth and we need to accomplish everything we need to do. Actually, let's look at each individual soul that you encounter. How have you handled that? Were you kind? Were you creating boundaries for yourself and making sure that they weren't chipping into your energy field when they shouldn't have been? Have you treated yourselves well? Start asking the real questions, because right now, going into 2026, it's not just about gathering the rewards. It's about having the right attitude and the right perspective as you accept these gifts. Accept the gifts that the universe gave you. Stop questioning things. Stop thinking conspiracy theories every time you turn around and you go into work and you're sitting there going, oh my God, who is my enemy now? And who's going to do this to me? Or you go online and you expect people to hate you, or, whatever it is. Try hard, guys. This is my message that I was receiving. Try hard to see your place in the whole thing, and that you've gathered so much. And it doesn't matter if they acknowledge it yet. It doesn't matter if the world sees what you did. Soon enough, they will. Not everyone can be seen at the same exact precise moment. Stop thinking that just because you accomplish something and you've come to a certain place in the hierarchy, that everybody needs to recognize that because, oh, I've arrived and you need to see what I've done. It's not that. You need to see that you've done it. And when the time is exactly right for that particular accomplishment to be illuminated, and for others to see what you've done so that they actually appreciate it for what it is. There's such a thing as arriving too soon. You know, you arrive too soon. You say all these messages. You accomplish all these great things with your life, your career, your relationships, how far you've come as a soul, your soul progression. You've done all this so well, and nobody is seeing it. Nobody's saying anything about it, and you just feel ignored. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, you have to see it first. Okay, if you're seeing it first and you realize you've done this, it has to do with the exact right time for that information, for that data, for that accomplishment, for whatever it is, that relationship healing, or you're leaving a relationship, or a death that happened and you can't make sense of it. So you're going to stop accomplishing things until you do this thing, until until somebody recognizes your place in the world, and that it's important, and that it's valid, and that you mean something while you're here. It's about you doing this, recognizing it yourself, and trusting that the universe has your back, that the exact right time for you to shine is already laid out for you. It's not when you call the shots. It never was. It was never when you said, "Okay, I've done the work, so I need to see that everybody sees this." That's not the whole point of this. It would be ignored if it was shown too early. You can arrive too soon. It's great that you've done all the work, and all the accolades will certainly come to you, but not because you demand them. It's because their rightful place in the path that you're on, the timeline that you're on, the rightful place and time will be, it's already chosen. So all you have to do is just sit back and go, God, I got that work done early. I can breathe now. Let me double check my work. Let me see what I've done. Let me clean this up a little bit. Let me make it better, so that by the time it is shown, by the time I do come into some sort of recognition for all my work on myself, on my relationships, on my career, on my journey as a soul, that it will actually be seen, it'll be acknowledged, it'll be appreciated, it'll be all the things. But if you arrive too soon, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what that is if it doesn't come in the right context. Okay? It has to come into context, or otherwise no one's going to know what it is, and they'll dismiss you based on how weird it is or how strange it is. I don't know if this is speaking to any of you, but I hope so. This is the message I received right before I started. Again, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I'm clairvoyant, but I'm more clairaudient, I think. I hear things more than I see things. I'm clairsentient to a degree, but mostly in my dreams. So when I'm dreaming at night, I'll have prophetic type dreams where a prophecy in all its glorious details will be shown to me. I'm starting to hear names now in my dreams, and I've done this a few times, and I'm like, okay, that's new. So I'm being rewarded with new gifts of insight. Maybe for the work I've done all these years, maybe for the fact that I didn't ask for anything other than you guys to show up. And if it helps one of you, I am perfectly fine with that. I don't need to be famous and do all that stuff anymore. It was nice while it lasted, but it certainly didn't fulfill me. I was never truly 100% happy with doing television and traveling all over the world and doing all that. I mean, it was hard. It was hard. It was difficult. It was not what I thought it would be. Do I regret doing it? No, because I grew a lot during that time, and I learned how to handle myself. I learned how to navigate certain certain ways of sort of translating the information I was receiving, because I was a little harsh when I began. I had some hard edges on me, and when I was seeing things, and my delivery was a little hard. And especially if you're working on crime scenes and missing persons, you want to make sure that you have just the right amount of softness about you while at the same time giving the information that's needed for them to heal or to have closure or for the case to progress. So you want to make sure all that is in balance. And I certainly wasn't in balance when I started psychic detectives and haunting evidence. I was not in balance yet. It was new to me. I actually was part of starting that field with psychic meets crime. So, you know, I'm not giving myself an excuse. I'm just saying that it was a a learning curve. And when I would go on crime scenes, I had most of my work was done alone because other people, just standing around, their energy, it interfered with the information I was receiving. So most of my work that I actually did that was of a higher caliber was when I was by myself, and I would typically ask them to walk away, or I would walk away myself. And then I got what I needed. I used to call it my little nugget. I used to go, okay, let me get my nugget in place. I'll come back and you guys can film this. But I had to go off by myself because all their voices, all the chatter in the universal timeline there, just everyone had their own opinions on the cases I was working, on the murders that had happened, uh, the missing persons, where they could be, were they still alive, had they crossed over? There was a lot of that going on, and I had to get out of their sphere in order to see what I had to see. So do I work alone? Do I work best alone? Yes. The finite answer to that is yes. And the only reason is because I need everything to be, I don't need to be encountering other people's opinions on what it is that I see. Because if I say something, okay, I own it, right or wrong, I own what I'm seeing. So when I was trying to do that in the midst of all these other people who had like 100 different theories on what was going on, and who the perpetrator was, and where the missing person was and where their body was laid, it was so much information. It was convoluted. It was flooding my psychic channels. I needed to step away. So I have to be honest and say that my best work happens when I'm by myself, when I'm dreaming by myself, because in my dreams, nothing enters that except my higher self and the information that needs to filter through. So you guys can do that too when you're sleeping. Some of your best stuff can come through when you're sleeping. You guys waste so much of your sleeping hours thinking, oh, I just need to sleep and then I can get up and work in the morning. Some of your best ideas, so a lot of your creative, a lot of your intuitive, things that are beyond your control, a lot of the messages that you should pay attention to while you're getting through your day happen because your conscious mind has moved aside for a second and the subconscious comes forward. So a lot of times when you're looking for the answer during the day and you're saying to yourself, God, what the answer or what the solution to this particular problem is, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this problem. Go to sleep at night and allow the message to come through. So many people want to say, oh, well, when they're dreaming, they have a message when they're dreaming that doesn't make any sense. I don't know how many times, and I can tell you this happens a lot, where I dream and it makes literally no sense. No sense at all. I could lose my reputation just by saying what I saw in the dream. So I know this to be true, and I don't care. If it's a lucid dream, if it's very clear and I see it and I'm hearing the message and it's repeated a couple of times before I wake up, I'm going with it. I don't care if Carla, as my conscious self, doesn't agree with it. Doesn't matter, because I was given that as a gift. I was shown, this illumination, this message, for whatever reason, and I'm just going to disseminate it and give it to you guys, and let's see what happens. Or give it to myself. Let's say it's a solution for myself that I hadn't thought of. Too many times you guys get messages like that and you have to correct yourself, or you have to do a lot of research on whatever it was that you were shown to negate what you saw. How about this? How about you treat what you heard or saw in your dream state that was given to you, and you treat it like it's fact, instead of always trying to disprove something that you don't know, or something that you don't have knowledge of, and that everything that you hear and see that's different from what you would normally surmise or say in real life, that you have to disprove it. Why don't you try the other way? Why don't you treat it as fact, and let's see how that lands? I have tried that. I am telling you, the biggest things in my life have happened because I did it that way. Instead of saying, oh, well, that's not going to work, or that's not right for me, or that's not, true, or that's ridiculous, it doesn't make any sense. Instead of saying that, I went the other way and treated it like it was bona fide fact. And I'm like, okay, I'm going with this. And if it doesn't work out, well, then I'll stop listening to these little impulses, these little messages that come through at night. So far, everything has worked out. So this is where humans get it wrong. You have to disprove something because it's not like the mainstream. It doesn't sound like everybody else's story, or everybody else's explanation of what that might be. Or it rubs people the wrong way because it's different. I do not care, because every nice thing that has ever happened to me, every successful thing where I have bolted forward in my path, has been because I trusted that little voice. I trusted that message that came through, that was so, it just wasn't probable. It just wasn't something that I could prove at the time, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go with it. Every single time I did that, it worked out. It not only worked out, but it propelled me forward at such a speed. I was just amazed that, and I stopped doubting it. Self-doubt is one of the things I deal with clients most, where you guys are doubting yourselves 24/7, and I'm in there trying to do some work for you. And if I could just get rid of 75% of that self-doubt that you guys throw, we would get so much done in a very short time. I spend most of my time in readings unraveling and disconnecting you from that self-doubt. So, okay, I'm done talking about that, but that was the message that came through tonight. And I'm hoping that some of that resonated with you guys. Let me know if somebody comes on here to speak. Go ahead and send me a request to speak or ask any question. If you've already asked me the question in a previous podcast, let's make it a new question. I can talk to the same people. I just need a new question. Because chances are it's going to work out the way I saw it the first time. So, asking it 20 times doesn't make it happen faster. Um, I have clients that they end up asking me questions in the read, like, and then they'll have another read and they'll ask it again. And then the third reading, they're asking it again. And I'm like, okay, they're hoping that I'm going to tell them a different answer, or I'm going to tell them the same thing, but give them more insight into that same answer. And it usually stays the same unless you guys do something to knock it off track. That's the only thing I can say about that, is that you guys, in your free will choices, because you're scared or because you don't believe or because something else is happening, you knock it off track on your own. And then may have changed the trajectory of the event just slightly, or maybe the timing. You changed the timing and it got delayed. And it's all because you were so scared and your fear got in the way. I want you guys to try what I had tried, what I had said, that if something comes through, a message or a sign or a symbol comes to you, take it like it's meant to be, and don't take it like it's this challenge that you have to disprove the universe and that what was shown to you isn't probable. It's the most impossible thing to ever happen. And why did I just hear that? Or why did I just dream that? Because it's not true. It's not true by whose standards? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is it true only by a certain subsection of society, or a certain group of people that are just, they're holding on to certain ideas or certain antiquated opinion, and they don't want to upset the apple cart by saying something different than what they had said all their life? So maybe, just maybe, try it my way, because every time I can tell you, I testify to the fact that every time I have tried that, every time I have had a dream or a message come to me that is the most ridiculous thing, it couldn't possibly be true. I'm out of my mind for even saying this to anybody else. If you find that you're in that position, just go with it like it is truth and see what happens. See what happens. Because I'm telling you for a fact, every single time I did that, it worked out so much better than I ever thought. So, all right, let me see who's on here requesting. Hey, Michelle. Michelle, are you on?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Look at this. Look at us at Christmas. I'm on my web app. I'm on my laptop. Can you believe it? I'm
That's
just
awesome.
I'm very excited by this. All right. So Merry Christmas to you and Rick. So what's going on over there? What's your question?
Well, it's funny that you were talking about dreams. You reminded me of a very vivid dream that I had about a week and a half ago that I can't get it out of my head. And it was so clear. And I wouldn't call it a nightmare, but it kind of put a pit in my stomach. It was at night and we were in bed, and to my right, I was at the top of the trees where the leaves are and the branches, and I looked over, and straight down was the trees themselves, but it was very dark at the bottom, so you could see the very long, a long way down. and there was this one branch with leaves on it that was right in my face. I was laying on my side, facing the right, and I went to pull that branch off because I knew that it was going to hit me right in the face. And I leaned over to the right to like get the base of it off the tree trunk, and I started to feel myself teeter over towards the edge, and I had my left arm straight out towards my husband who's on my left, and I'm literally saying, grab me. And he's like, he didn't know what to do because I always tell him if I'm having a nightmare, don't touch me because that would scare me more.
Oh
And I'm,
no. Oh
and
no.
I'm telling him, grab me. And he's like, not grabbing me. He's screaming, hun, hun, hun. And he finally said it so loud that it woke me up. But I had this fear of, I was just like going over. And that was it. I was
You were
dead.
followed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay. And how many times did you dream this?
That one time, but it felt like it was forever that I was calling him to grab me, to hold me so I don't fall over. It was crazy.
Okay, so you woke up at the point where you didn't fall,
No, but I was
and
right there at that edge. I could feel myself teetering over. Just
okay,
crazy.
okay. Just relax and breathe. Let me just take a look at it. Let me see. Let's see what this is. I have my regular playing cards, which mean nothing, as you guys know. It's just something to do with my hands. Okay.
I can't tell you how fast my heart is beating right now. Just telling you that dream. Woo.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me just see what this is. Ah, okay. Um, two people are coming up, your husband and your son.
Okay.
Okay. The part that is the unknown to you is your son.
Mm-hmm.
And your husband, you're afraid to just let him be the decision maker, within the arena here.
Mm-hmm.
Deep down subconsciously, you're afraid that you have to have all your mental, ducks in a row, and you've got to be the one to sign off on all decisions and all of everything. And that's what that dream was about. And this was about your son.
Really?
So I don't know exactly what is going on here, but it looks like you're afraid that if you don't have your hands in this and you
Mm-hmm.
aren't part of this decision making process, or you don't have hands on control of everything with your son, that you're going to lose yourself in the process.
That's weird.
So there's something about it that's scaring you. Maybe the unknown of what decisions your son might make on his own, and the fact that you're not in control of that.
Okay.
And your husband is there. He's beside you, but he knows from your directive to just let you go through the process. That's the part about not touching you
Mm,
and making sure. But he also was there for when you were about to fall.
right.
So no matter what, you're going to be taken care of.
Yeah, he's definitely there. Mm-hmm.
And this is showing me that your son is part of this, that something is going to happen here,
Mm-hmm.
not to scare you, but I'm seeing a life decision that your son is going to make. What is his first name again?
Kenny or Kenneth.
Kenneth. Let me look. I'm just looking to see what it involves.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. He may decide to move out of state and like completely far away.
Wow.
And that he's toggling with a decision right now because he feels like where he is, there's no opportunity for him. It's not where he belongs.
Okay.
Now, this isn't to go away from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so that he is able to have his shot, have his chance.
Right.
He'll always connect with you
Oh.
as long as you don't hold on too tight.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This might not make sense right at this moment, but you know how I am when I read.
Mm-hmm.
Know if I see something, I have to say it. So I'm going to say it now.
Mm-hmm.
For some odd reason, he may even move across the country.
Wow.
And it's because of, connections that he has made, an opportunity comes up. I see that it happens very fast. And you're not going to be able to process how fast.
Right.
You're going to get scared because you're going to think that your entire world is falling apart. And it's not. He's always going to come back. He's always going to come back. But he needs to do this, and you have to let him.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to be his mom, but are you able to let him?
Sure, I could support him. Definitely. I know he's working hard on his music.
Well, whatever this is, it looks like an opportunity comes up, and it's a once in a lifetime thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see when in 2026, because I see that's the year it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Something's happening in January to give us a clue on what that might be. Let me look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, and part of the reason this happens is because he may even lose the job he has. Something. It looks like there's a loss and he has nowhere to turn and he doesn't know what he's going to do. And I'm telling you, this connection will be made. I'm still getting the month of January. There's a clue as to who that might be for him. You have to just stand by and let this happen.
Right.
That's the hardest thing for a mom to do, right?
Yes,
so
of course.
I want you to just be there when he calls and just listen to him and listen to what he has to say. Try not to chime in with your solution, okay? Your answer to his problem, because the whole reason for this, the whole purpose of this is for him to have a solution to his own problem.
Right.
And I'm not telling you to cut umbilical cords. I'm telling you to just let him fly. Let him have his chance.
Right.
And there's a really this opportunity is like something really good for him.
Good.
And you're going to be, and again, I'm being pulled towards this side of the country.
Wow.
It's going to be far away.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean you won't see him again. That means that it's just far away for that.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
And one thing I can promise you, if you let him do this and he's in the midst of it, I see that he will be the happiest he's ever been.
Awesome.
In exchange for that, can you just let him?
If it's going to make him happy, of course, definitely.
he doesn't know it's going to make him happy, though. That's the thing.
Right.
He doesn't know yet. He's scared.
Hmm.
He's scared. He doesn't know. But I'm telling you that if he pays attention to this sign,
Hmm.
this person, this connection that comes in, if he pays attention to it, he will reap the rewards of that many times over.
Awesome.
That will be the start of a brand new life for him,
Oh, that's awesome.
where he won't be struggling so much to conform to what everybody else wants him to be.
Right.
Does that make sense to you at all, my dear?
Yes, it
Anything?
does.
You're going to have to tell me when that happens because I know you will.
Of course.
And
You'll be the first to know.
send a little testimonial over here and then I'll put it up there. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing January, like third week. I'm even going to go as far as saying third week in January.
Okay. I'm going to look out for that. Definitely.
And I see that he will, at first, he'll think he can't do it. It's too hard. They
Hmm.
must be crazy, something like that. He needs to pay attention to this when this happens.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say about it. Does that help you? Because that's what that dream was about. It was about you
Hmm.
realizing that you're not alone, that Rick pulled you back from the brink, right
Hmm.
before you
Right.
fell over,
Yeah.
and that you weren't by yourself in this whole thing. That Rick will support you with what you want to do.
Right.
But what you really want to do is let your son Kenny do his thing. Let
Hmm.
him.
So when he tells me, I'll just tell him to follow your heart. That's it.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
say, look, and you can even tell him that you were told about it ahead of time. And
Right.
just say, look, I am not standing in your way. I am so sending you off with love.
That's it. I'm very proud of him. He's
And
done a
and
lot for himself.
you will be amazed at what happens if you let this happen.
Hmm.
All right, my dear. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's a grown man. He'll be 40 in May. So he
Well,
can make his decisions.
and the thing is that you got to let him do this one on his own.
Hmm.
Okay. Let him.
Definitely.
All right, my dear.
I'm
We will
excited.
talk soon. Anything else we wanted to say about what we had talked about in the beginning?
Um, no, that's basically it. That you reminded me about that dream, and I've been thinking about it and thinking about it, and I finally got the opportunity to talk to you about it.
Well, and as the events unfold,
Hmm.
you'll let me know and let us
Definitely,
know.
definitely.
But third week around the 20th, somewhere around there.
In January. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Carla.
If it happens on January 20th, oh my God.
Oh my God, you know I'll message you.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you.
sweetheart. We'll talk soon. And I'm so happy that we can do this on the web now. Oh
So
my
am
God.
I.
I'm so happy they actually fixed the spaces. I'm pretty happy about
I
this
guess we
because
all
I can see
complained
it.
enough, huh?
I can actually see my screen and I don't have to like turn the phone over and do that whole thing.
That's
Um
awesome.
anyway. All right. We're going to let somebody else come in here now and I'm going to have you mute the mic. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Who else has a question for tonight? Just send me a request to speak and I'll get you on. In the meantime, just looking at other things that are coming up towards the end of 2025. Part of what I'm seeing in a lot of people's readings, and I've been given this message a few times with people when I've been reading them. Either you have to make a decision now on what belongs in your life, on your timeline, and what does not. And it's not some harsh punishment that's coming down from above and the universe is punishing you. It's just that right now with what's happening on the timeline, you have to do this before the end of January. I think it's like the 26th or something. Um, and these decisions have to be made where you only bring with you, the only luggage you bring with you is what's actually working. Because otherwise, the new opportunities that would come to you, any like a new place you might move, or new opportunities with relationships or healing with your family members, or relationships that you've been holding on to forever that need to go and actually be ended. And it doesn't mean that that's some harsh thing. It just means that if you hold on to it, you will not be given or afforded the gift of what's to come, like the agreements that were set in play before you even came into the lifetime. You'll have to do them at some other point, probably in another life. The ones that you had agreed upon, too many people I read have been holding on to the same pain and the same guilt and the same marriages and the same family drama for so many years. Not only did it change them, but it started making people sick. I mean, a number of my clients have illnesses now because, whether it be cancer or they have autoimmune diseases or other illnesses or disruptions in the body. And it's because you didn't pay attention the first time it came around, where you were supposed to sever those relationships. That karma has finished. You're so desperate to hold on to even things that don't work because your greatest fear is being abandoned, or your greatest fear is being by yourself. But by you holding on to what's not working, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. You're like harming your own path. It's like you literally chopped a tree down and it fell across your path. And now you have debris all over the path. And you either have to go around it or go on top of it or whatever to get further down your path. If you don't do this by the end of January, you will have problems recovering any opportunity that you had set as far as an agreement. And you will just have to go with plan B. And what I mean by plan B, okay. Sometimes when you abdicate agreements, other agreements have to come into play because you said, no, I'm too scared. I can't do that one. That agreement in itself is Patrick, I just added you. That agreement in itself is too hard and you're too scared of it. So you're not going to do it this lifetime. You're going to push it further and further away. Well, there are expiration dates on these agreements, guys. I am here to tell you, you do not get like, X amount of years beyond to do your agreements if that's not the agreement. These things have a window. If you miss, the number of windows for the opportunity, that's it. You're going to have to do that agreement some other time. And that's where free will comes in. When you make the free will choice of abandoning the agreement or that particular path, it's too hard. You're scared. Oh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose everything, and whatever it is. If you do that, don't think that you're going to be afforded like all the time you need to come back to that same agreement. It doesn't work that way. These agreements are fluid, which means that you have only so much time, and then you're just going to have to make that agreement in another lifetime with that same soul, usually, because it's a karmic agreement. That's what's going on. And they can't just stop because you're afraid. Let's say the other party to the agreement is all ready to go, but you're not. And it just means that you will have, there's only so much of that window you can exhaust before it goes away. So you're being given these opportunities, these signs, these symbols of things to come. People that you meet out of the blue. You don't have all that time to just waste away saying, "Oh, I'm not ready yet. I'll do it next week." You keep putting these things off. I am telling you. If you're currently in a job, if you're currently living in a place from hell that you hate and that you know you need to move from, if you're with family members that are toxic and they're making you sick, and you have to keep inserting yourself into the thing thinking, oh well, they're family and I have to do this. No, you don't. All you have to do is see the sign for what it is and take a chance on it. Like I said in the beginning of this podcast, so many times I act on things that are completely impossible, that have make zero sense to me or anybody else, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to go with this now, and it makes zero sense, zero logic, but I'm going to go with it because I've proven so many times in my life when I've done that, the most amazing things come out of doing that. Why would I not do that? Why would I not do that? Of course I will, because that's what happens when I do those things. So I don't even know if Patrick is still on here.
I'm
Patrick, did I?
I'm here.
Oh, hey,
Hello.
you're not. Oh, there you are. You disappeared from my screen. All right, so Patrick, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
Okay,
Christmas to you and your partner. I thought about y'all yesterday.
you thought about me being awake all day? Just,
I, that was the
I
first tweet I saw, and I was like, oh my god, I hope she gets some sleep or has some really
oh
great
yeah,
coffee.
I know I was tweeting at 6:30 in the morning, and I was like, yeah, I haven't gone to bed yet. um, I just, we were up all night talking, so it's just we went with it. But I'm glad I did. I got my sleep last night, so we're all good. But so what's happening with you? What did you hear the beginning of the podcast where I was talking about, like when you get signs of things to do
Yes, I
and
did.
they make no sense. All right. Well, what did you get out of that?
That if you do receive a sign, that's the universe telling you do it, or don't second guess it, just go for it.
Yeah, the second guessing. I've had so many people that
I was one of them a
I
few weeks ago.
well, I just wish I could, not that I'm talking about you in particular, but I've
Hmm.
just had so many people do that, and it's just like pulling teeth. I'm sitting there going, okay, one more time. They're throwing the same toxic stuff at me, and they're remaining in relationships that they shouldn't be, and they're hurting themselves, and nothing, and all they want to hear is what they want to hear. They're not ready to hear anything different. So I try to repackage it in a way
Hmm.
that that makes it less scary for you. And the thing is if you try what I'm saying, there's no punishment at the end of it. You don't lose anything by trying.
Right. If anything, you gain clarity.
Well, at the least,
Mm-hmm.
you glean some sort of clarity. You get some sort of path for yourself, because otherwise you're stuck in that limbo. You're stuck in that paralyzing situation of trying to straddle two different decisions, and you can't make a decision to save your life, and you find that other opportunities are going by the wayside because you spent way too much time on this
Mm-hmm.
and you weren't paying attention, and you lost other things because you were spending so much time being afraid. Instead of, you know what, you're not going to lose anything by trying the thing that you were shown. Nothing. What, you got embarrassed for 2 minutes, but not really. But not really, because you the best thing about it was you were willing to take the chance to even find out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming nothing has happened in your situation.
No, I haven't heard from him or anything, but I left a voicemail and yep.
Okay, well, you know my answer to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, don't just wait on ceremony. Contact the man again.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about this because I said we weren't going to talk about the same thing, but this is a good example of me teaching you. So what you need to do is, without being a stalker, just call again and say it a different way this time.
Okay.
Where you're not losing face, you're not being embarrassed. You took a chance and you just said something. Remember the window I said, you only get so much of a window. If you do not either claim the relationships or the location you're supposed to live, or the job you're supposed to have, or the career you're supposed to embark on, or the business you're supposed to build, whatever it is that you need to start, if you don't start it before the end of January, or if you don't end something that you've been in forever by the end of January, those will unfortunately dissipate. They will not come to fruition like you had hoped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to push you or make you feel anxious about the time thing, but I'm telling you the window's closing fast. So you know what? It's not going to hurt you just to keep trying. Just keep trying until you get it.
Okay.
Because he'll secretly like it, by the way, if you do.
Okay.
And you're losing nothing by trying, Patrick.
I was gonna actually send out a like Happy New Year text next week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just keep doing it until you hear from him. Don't be ridiculous, but be confident in yourself
Mm-hmm.
that you know that you need to keep doing this,
Mm-hmm.
because by the end of January, I think it's January 26th, something like that. If you don't do it by then, this will have to wait until the next lifetime.
Uh-oh.
If it starts after that time, it will not. It will fizzle before it even starts. It won't have any ignition. Like there won't be any spark to keep it ignited.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be the relationship you think it's going to be. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I'm saying you don't have all the time in the world, people, like for all the things you need to do. You need to pick the things that are actually in play. Okay? Pick the relationships, career, job, your home, where you're going to live, where you're not going to live, who your family members, the ones that stand by you, that you're going to stand by them, or the ones that are toxic, and you need to set them free.
Mm-hmm.
Or pain that you've been dragging with you all your life. Just realize that now's the time to let it go. That holding on to it didn't gain any ground. It didn't win you any prizes. It didn't make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Holding on to the pain just was just that. It was an exercise in holding on to pain. And it made you sick. So maybe just I'm not right all the time, but I know for damn sure I'm right about this.
Okay, I'll reach out on the New Year then.
I would do it before the New Year. Just do it a couple days before. Why are you waiting on ceremony? You don't have all this time. I'm trying to tell people you don't have all this time.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no perfect time for this, but there is an expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So just keep doing it until he answers you and says something. Don't leave loose ends is what the message is for this the end of this year into the end of January. Do not leave loose ends. And if you are starting something new, make the launch pad happen. Do not wait past January. Make it happen now. So if you have ideas on launching something, now.
Okay.
Don't let other people decide for you. I hope this is helping people.
Yeah, it's
So
helping me.
what's your question?
Um, um, geez, I
You don't have to have one. You can just make a statement and I'll let someone else go on. You don't have to have a question. You want to just make a statement?
yeah, everything you're saying, it's making sense, and thank you for you know always being here every Friday or Saturday. I guess my my question would be, the next time I do reach out, should it be another phone call or just a straight up text?
Again, you're trying to make it a perfect storm, a perfect set of circumstances by which you'll get the positive answer or solution and result
Mm-hmm.
that you're looking for. That's what I'm saying. Throw all that to
The wolves.
throw all that out.
Yes,
Throw
ma'am.
all that out. There's no perfect way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do something, you'll lose it altogether. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep doing it every couple days without being, but
Yeah.
just say, hey, look, nothing has to happen here. Let's just talk. And if he doesn't want to ever hear from you again, he'll say so. He'll say so. But this is where you guys are all trying to make it perfect. Like, oh, I need to pick the perfect day and the perfect hour, and oh no, he must be busy now, or she must be busy now. So I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait. This
Mm-hmm.
is where you're getting in your own way. There's no perfect set of circumstances. Look, I just, not to use my own life as an example, but here I am again doing, I do this in my readings too. I use my own circumstances, but and I try to be private, but sometimes I have to teach. So in my thing, this relationship that happened out of nowhere, okay, um,
Mm-hmm.
my initial thing was to just be professional and just not to go with it, and
Mm-hmm.
I fought it actually. I stepped back a little bit because not because I was afraid of getting hurt. It was mainly that I just didn't know if that was on my timeline because it was, um, and I wasn't sure if it would fit in my life circumstances. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of analyzing everything, I allowed myself to feel. I stopped pretending, I needed a perfect storm, I needed the perfect set of circumstances to like let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care because I just I I seized the opportunity when it was given to me because I saw it as a gift instead of this thing I had to unravel. See this guy as a gift that came into your life on your timeline. He didn't just come into your life and disrupt it for nothing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was to open up a part of yourself that you've closed off. So let that happen. I let it happen and look what the hell I got myself into.
I know you're moving to Chicago.
Well, and I lived in Los Angeles for you know, like what, 3 decades now? So
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna be a big move for me. Did I think that I was gonna have a move at the end of this year and I was gonna like have a whole new set of this and that, a whole new life, a whole new trajectory that I was actually going to venture into? No, I did not. But I didn't let my fear of something new become my obstacle that I would regret for the rest of my life if I didn't seize it. So seize the day, my friend.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't let yourself not. Because the water's fine over here, and I'm telling you, I'm a happy girl right now. I am. I'm happy I did this. So I think he is too. So, and I mean, it was unexpected, unknown, and I had to act quickly. But look, I got in under the timeline, right? I got in before the end of January. So I guess it sort of worked with what's happening in the universe right now for everybody. Because right now, these decisions, you have to cut loose what isn't working. It doesn't mean what isn't working that you're trying to hurt people by cutting it loose. It just means that you have to have recognition that that karma is done. That's all. Doesn't mean anything else. But you, with your fear patterns, you need to just blast those the hell out of your path. Stop with your fear of rejection. Stop. I'm telling you, seize the day. You're my project right now. So you better go do this. And I don't think that you're just doing it once. You do it until you get him to talk to you. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Just don't get arrested.
See, that's what scares me. Like I don't want that.
No, no, no. I said it as a joke, but seriously, you're not going to get arrested for. He will at least tell you, hey, stop calling or don't ever call me again. But he secretly will be okay with this. Just do it in the proper way and be a
Mhm.
nice guy about it. Okay.
Always.
And I expect great things from you, so do not disappoint me.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. So go do your thing.
Thank you.
And may the force be with you. All
Oh
right.
my God, that's what I told him at the end of the voicemail.
I did not know that. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, speaking of signs, that should be a sign to you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, go do your thing now. In fact, if you go do it right now, I'd be happy. And then come back. Um, let's see if we have anybody else. In the meantime, if you need to ask a question, just send me a request on here and I'll put you on. And we will answer your question. It can be about anything because that's what the potpourri. Um, Usually, I do these during the holidays, where you guys can ask whatever you want. It can be about anything. It can be about yourself, a personal issue, or it can be about anything, the world, uh, anything that's going on out there. It can be all of that. So just let me know if you want to ask that type of question. But in the meantime, part of part of me doing this and taking that leap of faith is basically what those things are. It's getting out of my own way. I can't tell you how I was just resigning myself to, and it was a happy resigning. I love what I do and I love talking to you guys and I love my work and working on crime scenes and whatever. I love all that. But it was I was resigning myself to things where I could have been so much greater. I could have produced so much more just by giving myself a little piece of happiness, and I thought that I had to withhold happiness from myself, that I had to punish myself in some way in order to do all the great things that I needed to leave as a legacy this lifetime. And I got in my own way. So I was the first offender, you guys. I was the first person to get in my own way and thinking that I had to suffer through my life in order to accomplish great things. And that's not true at all. In fact, I have more energy now than I did a year ago. I am powering through things that I never thought I would do. I'm moving from this place, which I never thought I would do. Just other decisions I'm making for myself where it doesn't mean you have to give up on all your work and all that you need to accomplish. It just means that you can be happy while you're doing it. It's okay to be happy and accomplish. I had this weird idea that I had to suffer in order to do all these things. That I had to sacrifice myself and my life for this, where I wasn't allowed to have these things, where I had to just be there for you guys. And I was happy to do so. But when it came around on my timeline, I was like, well, I'm going to let myself feel again. I'm going to let myself, it's going to make me a better human being. It's going to illuminate my path so much more if I just let this happen. And you know what happened as soon as I let this happen? It was like it was Halloween week when it sort of took a turn. It was Halloween week. I remember when I had the epiphany and I started having dreams with names in them. Prophetic dreams, prophecy dreams for a couple different clients where the names were coming up, or names of places cities where somehow there was a connection to a certain city. I was getting information that I wasn't getting before all this happened. And I thought, well, that's an improvement. So, I saw my own abilities amplify once I allowed this to happen. I stopped fighting it. I allowed myself to be happy. Do you know how many people I read that don't allow themselves to be happy, that continually plunge themselves into darkness day in and day out? And it's just like this dark path and dreary path, and they're carrying this cloud of despair over themselves, and then it invites illness and agony and loss and whatever. And it's just this nonstop cycle of things that don't have to be. I am telling you, I am living proof that you don't have to suffer while you're doing great things. In fact, it is making me better at what I do. Do you think a year ago, I mean, twice now, I've stayed up all night working through the next day. I wasn't even tired when I went to bed. I'd collapse if I didn't at some point, but I wasn't tired like I used to be. I was awake and alert and and feeling joy and just happy. And it was a weird feeling because I wasn't used to feeling like that. So I I became better at what I do. I am more productive at what I do. The messages I'm receiving they're more potent and have they're actually more layered now than they were before. I'm starting to pick up on other abilities that I have that I didn't realize I actually possessed, that were latent. They were latent in the back of my mind, and I didn't even realize I had these. So I'm thinking that I'm becoming the best I can be now. The best version of myself is coming now. And it's never too late for that to happen. Trust me. I thought, the career I've had and all the things that I've done and all the television and the radio and just everything that I've accomplished, I thought that was, what a great life that was. But guess what? I was still empty. I was still empty. And I never admitted that to myself until I was presented with something that wouldn't make me empty anymore. So I think that was it. I just wasn't willing to admit it to myself. And I think that's where a lot of you guys are, where, you have this stalwart type of behavior where you're like, no, I'll just, I'll power through it. I'll be okay. And I just wasn't admitting to myself that it was kind of empty. I always played it off like, no, I'm happy, I'm good, everything's fine. I was doing a lot of baking. So I was baking a lot. Like every week I was baking something new or creating something in my kitchen. So I was just like, that was sort of filling up all the other spaces, but it was still empty. And I was too proud to admit, because I've accomplished that much, I was too proud to admit that it was empty. And I'm not saying that everything is all filled up now and complete, but I'm telling you it's on its way, because I am fusing with another part of myself that I had forgotten about. And I let it be silent and I let it be covered up and I just didn't look at it. And I thought it would be fine until I met up with it when I cross over. I'll meet up with that other part of myself. But I'm so happy I took a chance on doing something different, and I listened to the psychic dreams and the psychic messages, and I went with something that was clearly I thought was impossible, and like, how am I going to make that work? and like that's ridiculous at this point in my life, and like I didn't plan on it, so therefore it shouldn't be. That's I'm so glad I got out of my own way. I just want to say that. So I
Carla?
yeah,
Hi, it's Michelle again. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I didn't know who I thought it was God. I thought God was talking to me.
It's me. I was just thinking, as we had these podcasts and you were speaking, all I could hear in my head was that she's lonely. She's lonely. And as soon as you mentioned Doug, I was like, thank you, God. I felt your loneliness. I felt it. It's
Wow.
weird to say, but I felt it.
Well, and you've talked before about being an empath from like a long time ago.
I don't know where that came from, but I just felt it from you.
No, but I remember you telling me you felt like you were an empath from long ago. And Catherine, I just added speaking privileges to you
Mhm,
as well. But I that was hard for me to admit to
mhm.
everybody out loud, but I just did, and I'm proud of myself for even just saying that. I don't know what's going to happen or whether everything's going to be. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. There's going to be fights and whatever or disagreements, but it still was the right choice for me to make.
Of course, you're living your life. That's what's important.
Well, and I took a chance on opening myself up, which was a very dangerous thing for me to do. And
Mhm,
I can't tell you that I think I'm more proud of that than I am doing television.
mhm.
I mean, I have to say, I'm more proud of making that decision
Oh, you've got
because,
someone to share your thoughts with and your feelings. That's
well, it wasn't
important.
just loneliness for another person. It was more like I was just lonely with my own thoughts all the time. And
Mhm,
it just I was actually bearing a part of myself in the back of my mind. I was bearing those thoughts and bearing that side of myself. Um, and I thought that I would resurrect it when I crossed over, you know. And I just thought I put it to sleep is what I did. I actually gave it
mhm.
anesthesia and I put it to sleep. I didn't know what else to do with it, so I just put it to sleep. Sort of like Sleeping Beauty. I put it in a glass casket and I put
Mhm.
it to sleep for a while.
But look how
And I
much happier you are now that it's awakened and feeling love. It's awesome.
well, I mean, I never did ask you guys like, do I seem different?
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
I mean, was I horrible before?
No, not horrible. No, you're just more, your voice is just more alive. It's
It sounds
just
brighter.
beaming. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Patrick.
um, okay, so good. These are all good things. I never did ask you guys like whether or not you noticed the change, but I mean,
Mhm,
I know the change inside of me, but
Like
Catherine,
before,
mhm.
I think I added Catherine, right? Catherine, are you on here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hey,
Hi.
all right. So you can talk too if you want,
Sorry?
but you guys can talk if you want. I've got all three of you on here, so just say whatever you need to say.
Okay. Um, well, I was going to ask you if you see anything that I should be leaving behind in 2025.
Okay, just relax for a minute. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Oh, all right. This isn't so much a person you should leave behind, but it is saying that you need. Remember when I was talking about leaving the whole suffering thing behind? You know, where I figured out that I could be happy like without having to sacrifice all
Right.
the time. Like there's no need for you to sacrifice your happiness so much for things that you think you need to pursue. You know, you're digging your heels in and declaring that only certain things will make you happy instead of letting happiness be shown to you like it was to me. Look at what happened to me. You of all people have been reading with me forever. So you have seen the transformation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
if you are able to just leave the whole suffering thing behind, the long suffering Catherine, let's just leave that behind.
Okay.
There's no need to do it the same way you've been doing it. You've been
Okay.
thinking, oh, only certain people make me happy, only certain jobs I have to have. You're so micro organizing everything because you think that those things are the only things that make you happy.
Mm,
Look, I didn't expect this guy to come in the way he did.
right.
I mean, when Douglas arrived on the scene there, I was
Mm,
never thinking in a million years
right.
either his type. Have I? You're a witness to this because you know what I was attracted to or whatever before it was toxic,
Mm-hmm.
and I never talked about anything like that before or saying, hey, I need a guy that looks like this or talks like
Mm,
this or sings like this or does
mm-hmm.
whatever. I never had a laundry list of things.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a list of things saying, oh, if I move, I'll be happy. I just have to move. That,
Right.
and then what you end up doing is you end up carrying a dark cloud of doom on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you end up carrying this darkness over all the things that you do have
Stop.
instead of seeing them as like the things that brought you to this place. This was my path, this apartment, you know, what I
Mm-hmm.
went through, all the suffering I did have before. It
Yep.
was all to get me to this point.
Right. I understand.
In other words, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been the person he was attracted to, and you know, maybe he wouldn't have been for me either.
Right.
You know, God knows I was much more self-absorbed, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it reflected in my readings with people. I mean, I was just very much just running the show, you know, and now it's I just like who I am so much better now.
Good.
So if you could just do that, you're very, very much, you know, you're pointed only at things that you can conjure up that you think will make you happy, that'll look good on your resume or look good on your you know, your legacy as you leave this life, you know, things that you think you can only be proud of instead of allowing the universe to choose what it already knows will happen. The
Right.
universe chose this relationship, trust me. I
Oh,
didn't go after it. He
I know.
was, you know, this was a client sort of, you know, he ordered a reading. I mean,
Right.
it happened by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So by divine accident, but by accident. So it wasn't something I conjured up or called in. So
Yeah, I
for
know.
you, all I'm asking for you is you do the same thing. That the
Okay.
things you leave behind are the things that you have to conjure up too many things in order to keep alive.
Okay.
instead of allowing the universe to show you what your new path really is. And maybe not dismissing those choices so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So the things you're going to leave behind is your attitude, Catherine.
Yes.
Okay? That thing where everything has to be perfect before you accept it.
Mm.
You're going to let that go.
Okay.
Listen to me giving you orders, but I'm telling you, you're going to let that go. Because it's going to be the best thing in the world for you. Because I'm being shown a date. Just mark it down. I don't know what this means. February 10th. Something. February 10th. If you do what I'm talking about right now, it was being shown to me while I was talking about this particular thing, about what you should let go.
Right.
You're letting go of this perfectionistic attitude you have.
Expectation.
Yeah, the expectation is a natural component, or it goes along with that perfectionistic thing that you try to create, where you mold your path. Stop molding your path. Let the universe mold it. You step into it. That's the visualization I want you to have. You're going to step into your path now, instead of erecting the road and the bridge and the buildings that are alongside the road and the foliage and the whole thing. You're not going to do all that. You're not going to have all the details in place. You're not going to know what the details are. All you're going to know is this is your path. You don't have to have an answer for all the rest of it yet.
Okay.
I want you to practice that imagery that you are not going to be, the person erecting the roads and the bridges and all the construction that goes along with building your path. You are going to, all your job is to step into the path. That's all your job is. All you got to do is step into the path. It'll be like your version of the yellow brick road. Okay?
Okay.
All you got to do is step onto it, and just you're on the way to Oz. Okay?
All right.
The thing I told you will be more profound once you get off the podcast. You'll sit and think about that for a while.
Okay.
Okay?
All righty.
Promise me you're going to let this perfectionistic thing just let it go.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing you haven't tried.
Okay.
Try it my way, just for a second, okay? Because my way isn't my way. It's what the universe just showed me. Just try it. Okay. You have nothing to lose. You've lost by doing it your way every single time. And that's not a criticism. That's just saying you've been losing at doing it that way. I am asking you to put down your shovels and your equipment and all the things where you're trying to make this a perfect storm, perfect set of circumstances, and allow yourself to just step into where the universe already laid the path for you. The yellow brick road is already there.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
And I'm talking in a metaphor type situation here, but I see that if you can do that with your mind, just let your mind drift to the place, the imagery I just gave you, the opportunities will be there. Okay. That was the last thing that had to happen. Let go.
Yeah.
Let go of trying to control every aspect of this. And then I want to hear about your happiness. In 2026, that's the testimonial I want from you, your happiness. Okay?
All right.
So it was never about a person or a place of work or what you should do or where you should live. It was always about you getting out of your own way. And again, I'm sorry about the death you just had. So I wanted to say that out loud.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been encountered by him?
He was definitely around at his memorial at my.
Are we allowed to say who it was for the rest of everybody listening?
Sure, it's fine. He's my older brother.
Okay. And when you were at the memorial, did you feel him there, or was it when you went back home?
At his house.
Oh, and you had a visitation of sorts?
He was there. I even said something to my sister-in-law. I don't know if she thought I was nuts or not, but she seemed to be comforted by it.
Well, and what was his first name? Let me look at something here.
Bob, Robert.
Okay. Huh. Hold on. He's talking too fast. um, I need, okay, Robert, I need you to slow down. Um, okay. He's he's pointing. Um, he's telling me a couple different things. The first thing is about a health issue that was going on with him. That if he had paid attention to it, he thinks he wouldn't have crossed over at this point.
Right.
And he's actually pointing at his stomach area. He's pointing there to me for some reason, even though that may seem like it doesn't connect to his actual cause of death. He's pointing at that to me, that was his first indicator that something was wrong.
Huh.
He ignored it. And I see inflammation
Mm-hmm.
is what I see, like inflammation in the stomach area.
Mm-hmm.
And he just thought it was stress, and he ignored it. He never took care of it.
Well.
And then I see the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But part of what I see with him is he's okay. He's telling me he's afraid to tell you what he really thinks because he thinks you will judge him.
Why would I judge him?
I don't know, but this is his fear.
Uh-uh.
That if he reveals some things that he has thought about you and your life, if he says them to you or conveys this to you in spirit form, that you will judge him, and he doesn't want you to think less of him for thinking this.
Well, I don't think I would think less. I mean, he was my big brother. It's definitely a hero.
He was afraid to tell you the hard truth
Mm-hmm.
about certain things regarding you and your choices. He says it's about you and your choices. And he should have said something. He's saying that to me now. Like he should have said something to you about, maybe just saying it to you would have helped.
Yeah, it's very.
But he didn't want to upset the apple cart, and he didn't want to cause waves. And he was just sort of neutral about it.
Okay.
But he wanted to say something to you. And it had to be with your life choices, like certain things that you chose to do and live through, where he wanted to say something and he held back.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that you were wrong in your choices. It was just that he was not forthcoming.
Right.
He was silent instead of being the big brother,
Right.
instead of helping you with decision making and whatever, instead of helping by saying what he observed about you and what you had chosen.
Right.
He had opinions about it. So if you think he didn't, he did, and he just kept silent. That's what he's telling me.
Yeah. No. Right.
Was he like that? Was he quiet about,
Yeah.
like making waves and that kind of thing?
Pretty much. I mean, I always knew he was watching. Even when I didn't think about it. I mean, one time when I was really young and I was at college age and he was managing a bar, I wanted to work there, and he said, "Well, I could," but he said he'd really be upset if something happened, and he ended up, pulling some guy by the throat over the bar. So just into the relationship, his big brother, little sister, whatever.
So when I just see that he kept some stuff to himself about you.
Mhm.
Like he wanted to say something to you,
Right.
and you would be mad at him if he did, but he kept it to himself because he was so afraid that you'd be mad at him. So he just kept quiet.
Oh well.
So you know what? So he's talking now. So it's never, in my experience, it's never too late. So in my experience, I think you should hear some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, just get out of your own way. I've known you a long time. Get out of your own way, please. Stop erecting these perfect set of circumstances to make your life appear to be like, this glass house, okay? This crystal palace, try to make it so that you just step on the yellow brick road. It's right there. Just step on the path you're supposed to step.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it will reveal itself later. You don't have to know all the answers as you start out.
Right. Well, it never happens that way anyway.
And I think if you can at least adjust your brain waves before the end of January, like I said, that's the thing you need to let go by the wayside.
Okay.
You asked me what you should let go.
Okay.
You need to let go of your need to have everything be perfect before you do each thing, before you do each step, before you do each decision.
Right.
That's what's getting in your way.
Okay.
You know what? If you have 2% of something, still make the decision. The rest of it will work itself out.
Exactly.
I want to hear your progress later.
Okay. All right.
All right, my love.
All right.
Well, again, you're going to be okay.
Okay.
You are. You're going to be fine. You've pulled through worse. All right, love.
Okay.
Are you sick?
No.
Do you have a cold?
No, just allergies.
Oh, okay. All right, honey. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Night.
Okay. All right, you guys. Anybody else want to get in on here and ask a question? If you need to just talk about another topic, we can talk about another topic. It's fine. I have no problem with that because it's a potpourri type of podcast. But I think a lot of this stuff is good to hear. Whoa, what the hell is that? Did you just hear that? Tell me you guys just heard that. What was that?
Yes, I heard it. That was weird.
What was it? I didn't touch anything.
It sounded alien. I don't know.
Okay, I'm serious. What the hell? Did you just hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, Patrick heard it too. Yeah. Crazy.
I am nowhere near, I didn't go anywhere near the laptop. I've got my hands on my cards.
It
Weird.
didn't let me go on my phone earlier.
What? What was that? Okay, I'm serious.
That
What
was
was that?
scary.
Catherine, do you have any idea what that was? Did you do anything over there?
No, no.
You heard that, right?
I
Like
did.
everybody heard that.
It was like a very high pitched, up to higher noise.
So
It
weird.
sounded like some sort of like musical instrument or something. Like
Yeah, it really.
like it sounded like a keyboard that had music on it or something.
Weird.
Okay, like somebody better analyze that later. What was that?
That was crazy.
I did not touch a thing. My phone is off. It's completely shut off.
I know I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna let that go. Maybe that was Bob, Catherine. I mean, not that, I don't know what that was. Okay, let's continue. So if anybody else has any comments, they want to talk about something, just send me a request. I will get you on. But you have to request it in order for me to, I have to approve it just because that's how it works here on the Twitter X Spaces. I still call it Twitter X. I have never just called it X. Sorry, but I was here. When did I start? 2009 on this thing. So it's been Twitter for me the whole time. And, X, I've never called it X. Like Twitter X, I've called it Twitter X, but I've never called it just X. All right. I think when you go back and re-listen to some of this podcast, you guys you'll get some little pearls of wisdom from what was being said, because I think sometimes it's just, it's not some big thing that you have to let go. It's sometimes it's just a perspective or a perception. It's just switching the channel in your brain to an easier channel that's a little more clear. Sometimes it's that minute a change that can change your entire world. Just changing that little gear, just, it's like a radio station and a frequency, and you just need to dial it up a little bit, and you'll lock into that station. Sometimes that's all it is. A domino effect for all the good stuff that's going to come in, and all the agreements that you had signed on for will finally start coming along your path. You'll have all those things that you thought, well, I guess I'm never going to get those. Mute your mic unless you need to say something. Okay. because the little noises that are happening without me doing anything, I don't know what that was. Anyway, so Audrey, I see you're on here tonight. Did you want to say anything? If you did, send me a request to speak. Um, if you needed to ask me about something or talk about, if you want to talk Coburger, we can do that for a second, whatever you want to do. I know you were looking forward to saying something. If you guys want to ask about the state of the world, it's a potpourri one, so you guys can ask about whatever you want. Because we're just going to talk about anything. And I will take a look. So I thought that I would be fearful about all this stuff. I mean, a lot is happening in a very short amount of time. So, I've gotten a little overwhelmed, but at the same time, I'm finding that I'm energized by it also. So it's like half being overwhelmed and half being energized, and something awakened, something ignited in me. So don't be surprised that when I do move and I do get into my new home and what's going on and all that happens, that I don't start new projects, or I start writing a book, or I start doing something. Don't be surprised if you hear me announce one day I'm gonna do something else, or have a second podcast about missing persons again, or whatever I'm gonna do. So I think, when you new perspective and you stop being in your own way and you let this stuff go before January 26th, I think, before, let's say end of January, if you can let this stuff go that doesn't belong in your life now, you knew it didn't belong from the beginning, you're just being stubborn about it, just let it go. If it's a fear about, I don't know, anything, just let it go temporarily. It's what, a month. If you can't let something go for a month, then you don't deserve the new thing that's going to come. Let it go for 1 month and see what kind of greatness comes from that. Just let it go for 1 month.
Carla, it's
Yeah.
Michelle. What can we do about like finances and debt in 2026?
Um, who's we? Just in general?
Well, me or anybody else who's in debt and has troubles with their finances, with everything so expensive these days, and their paycheck is trying to stretch as far as it can stretch. Do you see anything better in 2026?
Just relax. Let me just see. Oh, all right. Hold on. All right. I'm just going to say what I'm hearing right now, which, again, it doesn't seem plausible, but um, I'm hearing the word bank. Like, banks in and of themselves. I'm also hearing another word, collapse. So I'm seeing a collapse of the banking system as we know it.
Oh, Lord.
Not stock market,
Hmm.
different banking system, like the way banks operate
Hmm.
will, I just see something else will be implemented. Like it'll be, I see something else taking its place. Like okay, I'm hearing something that I haven't researched, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
But I'm also I'm hearing something like a world bank, like a world bank,
Hmm.
like something where all the banks are under one umbrella all around the world.
Wow.
Like it will no longer be like national banking systems. Like the banks will all have to, they'll all be in this one conglomerate, this one federation of banks.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. It's new. I haven't seen this before. So,
Wow.
so just mark this down as you do. But
I'm
it's
writing it
something.
down. World Bank.
It's something that I'm seeing. Like, like all the banks will not be like what we think of banking right now. Like all of this will be rewritten and will come under the umbrella of another type of system. Like the whole system will reinvent itself under a world banking, like a universal banking kind of thing.
I wrote down World Bank. Okay, one conglomerate. All right.
I have no idea what I just said, but I have I have said weird things like this before and they come true.
Yep.
So I'm just going to make that statement. I am seeing some sort of an alliance between all the banking systems all around the world so that if one was in trouble, it just doesn't get eaten up by some large bank that doesn't care. It's more like
Hmm.
a universal type of system where there's no collapse anymore,
Sounds interesting. Hmm.
where maybe the currency will be one currency. You know,
Hmm.
that's kind of what I'm seeing.
Wow.
Like a like a like one currency where it won't have the risk of collapse. And what will back this is um, you know how we have a Federal Reserve?
Yeah.
It's almost like a world reserve then. Like there's I don't know what it is that I'm seeing. This is all brand new. I haven't seen this before. Which is why I do these things because then I get new information.
Hmm.
But
That sounds interesting. Wow.
I'm seeing something along those lines where there's no danger of collapse anymore because every week there's another bank going down,
Yeah,
right?
it's scary what's happening. Hmm.
Well, in this scenario that I'm seeing, this future scenario, and you're asking how long will that take? The first date that I see where this could come into view is 2027.
2027. I'm writing it down.
And this will not be predicated upon some election or some war or some this or that, some threat of some kind. This will be something that happens out of need, out of a necessity to create
Hmm.
security, like a world security though, like a world. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm just seeing like this will affect banking all across the world.
Wow.
And this will no longer be just certain countries are richer than other countries. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that every country will be equal. It's not going to be like a socialistic type of thing where every country will be equal. It'll be more like, because it will behoove other countries to feed into this this world banking
Banking.
system
Right. Hmm.
because then their bank will not collapse because somebody else's bank did.
Right.
where it's not like a stock market thing anymore,
Hmm.
where the currency will still have value because it'll be backed up by something else. So I I don't know what this is, but this will be interesting as this comes along. I don't even know what the name of it's going to be, but I'm just getting all this influx of data right now, like what it is.
Wow. All from asking about finances. That's crazy.
Well,
Wow.
and it's not, believe it or not, it's not crypto. It's not cryptocurrency. It's another type of currency
Hmm. Wow.
that is not at the stroke of a keyboard.
Hmm.
It's something else.
Wow.
It's something else that's of value,
Hmm.
but it's it's worldwide. It doesn't deal with just any one country. So no one country can buy up all the other countries.
Sounds interesting. Wow.
I don't know what it is that's going, but I kind of like it
Hmm.
because it means that money will no longer be the defining aspect of a country anymore.
Right. Wow.
It will no longer be the definition of power.
Hmm.
I have no idea what this is, but I like it.
Yeah.
It feels positive to me. It doesn't feel like a negative, you know, uh, world is ending thing. But I mean, the thing is, what happens right before it may be a war.
Hmm. Well, you keep
It may
saying it.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, it may be a war. It could be on a world scale, but it's short lived.
Hmm.
I don't get it's very long, and it's enough to scare people into submission to do this,
Yep. You keep
to
saying that. Yep.
finally do this.
Hmm.
All
Well,
right,
time will tell.
I'm done with that question. All right, so I'll
Thank you, Carla.
reveal more. If I see anything else about that, I'll let you guys know. But that's
It's interesting.
I've never seen anything like that before. But your question actually, it sort of ignited that part of my brain that was like,
Hmm.
oh, it's time to release that information now. See, that's where the information was coming in at the right time. If I had said that before, it wouldn't have made as much sense.
Right.
So you can arrive to the party too early, is what I'm saying.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right. So if anybody else has a question, let me know. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Carla.
Okay. If anybody else has a question they want to ask before I wrap up this Christmas potpourri, this edition of just answering and talking. But I like these because then we talk about stuff. It's just like this varied, um, you never know what's going to happen during one of these. So um, I find that a lot of my best information that comes out comes when I don't expect it, and it just comes from it feels like it comes sideways, like it comes from a side of my brain and it goes into my third eye. It doesn't come from above. It's like sideways. It's almost like a lateral move, like I'm swiping on some universal like app, and I see the next frame of information. That's kind of what it feels like. Um, so anyway, if no one else wants to ask anything, this is last call. Nobody? Okay. All right. We're gonna wrap this up then for tonight. But I'll come back probably next week with state of the world stuff because I think we need to start looking at what's happening. Um, So maybe the New Year's will be about predictions, psychic predictions for 2026. I think we need to start thinking now about what your questions are going to be for psychic predictions 2026. Okay. I want everybody to have at least one question, and we'll just pick them off one by one. Okay. Psychic predictions 2026. That'll be the next one for next Friday. And I'm wishing everybody happy holidays, and I'll be on Twitter here, and I'll have this up shortly within the hour and on YouTube. And again, thank you for stopping by, you guys. You all help me see what I need to see. You're all very helpful with that. It's better to have you there anchoring me. Okay. And thanks for listening to my personal stuff. I appreciate the support, because some of it is hard to say, but I said it. So there you go. Anyway, I'm wishing happy holidays.
Thank you, Carla. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. I'll be
Happy
here
New
every
Year,
day
Carla.
doing my thing. I'm going to take Monday off again, just in the morning, and then I'll be back. But we'll do the same thing Monday, and then I'll go back to regular days off the next week after. So I will talk to you guys soon. All right. See you on here. Good night, my doves. Turtle doves.